Hi, everybody. It's Gianna. I had a request to do the Star Quilt pattern star, or also known as the Northern Star. I had already completed these by the time I got the request. So I did another one, and this one here is done on a wrap. I wrapped my hoop. And what I used for the wrap was this Ultra Suede. And I usually get it from Eureka, or sometimes I get it off of Etsy. But Beadsmith is one of the better ones to use. The color is known as Bone. So what got me started on learning to do these stars was when my brother taught me how to actually do a dream catcher. And these do fall in the dream catcher category. A lot of times when you're looking up dream catcher, you'll come across these. You can do these on big earring hoops. You do it on regular hoops. People have been known to take, the cheap bangles and wrap them. And then make these on them, or make a dream catcher or something like that. So with that, what you're going to need is a hoop. Okay? That's what you're going to need, is a hoop. Don't matter what size hoop, but this is one of the 3-inch hoops that I have. And that's usually what I use, is a 3-inch hoop. So your pattern that you're going to follow would be a 3-inch hoop here, or a 2.5. It would also work with a 2.5. With these beads, I use what they call the True Cut bead, and that's why it lays and looks a little different than it does with my regular Miyuki rounds. I also make these with my size 11 check cut, check beads, and y'all have seen me use the Hanks. Now, what makes your star are 8 points. When you're doing this, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4 on that side. Oops, I didn't have it in there, but now it is. 4 here, 4 here. And I'm going to show you how to make those points. And then I'll show you how it comes together, because you've got 1 layer, 2 layers, and then you got the third, which is the center as you do this. It's quite simple. And as you watch me go through this, with this upload, I've decided to upload this time because it, seems to be a lot quicker for me to bead when I'm not having to be interrupted during a live. It's not saying I don't like doing the lives. I've just chosen to do it this way. Now, when you're going to do your hoops, especially these hoops, these are the Walmart hoops, and they don't have, the Walmart hoops, unlike these hoops I did not get from Walmart. I got these from one of the little Hispanic stores that I like to buy hoops from as well. They're even right here. They don't have the extra little hump right here. So and the opening is a lot smaller, as you can see, and it's easier. It's more closed in than these are. And being able to make your star with this kind of hoop you're going to think of your earring laying like this with your part that goes into your ear on this side. So you're going to start on this side, and I would say wrap these hoops, these Walmart hoops, wrap them if you're going to try to do this, because if not, your thread's going to slip up over this always, and you want your thread to stay still. Your choice of thread, but my choice, I like to use the Nymo bonded or non-bonded, and I use the double aught, which is double zeroed. There it is right there. The double aught right there, text 4. And this one is a bonded thread, which means I really don't have to use wax. The thread is already going to lay the way I want it to. And what I do, a lot of people call it a wingspan. A wingspan is just one side of your arm all the way out. I do one wingspan and then one arm span. Wingspan to me is both arms out. Cut my thread. Now, when you're using a size 11 needle, you can get away with 11 beads. These are 11s. You can get away with a size 10 needle. Me, I prefer a size 12 or a 13 because I'm going to be going through my beads. I won't be going through them very often, but I like a smooth travel, you know, going through my beads. And that's what I call it, a smooth travel. You know. Of course, you're going to want to thread your needle. You're going to tie your ends. Everybody has their own way of tying their ends. I go through this about 5 times. That's 2, 3. 4. I let loose a bit. My arthritis is acting up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I usually bring my knot all the way down. I cut off a little bit of the excess. Then I bring my needle down to the center of my thread. Just like I have shown with my ladder stitch or my brick stitch, I don't tie it around. Okay, what I do is I bring my needle through, split my thread through the 2, and I go through. Then I want to bring this up as close as possible. As close as possible to the end of my, because that's where my first point is going to be. Gotta file a piece of my nail. My nails, for some reason, are not as sturdy. They've become a little brittle, so I've had to do a lot of care with them. again. That's what happens when I do the acrylic nails. So with this pattern right here, it does look like the two are there, but I'm picking up 2 red. I'm starting with 2 red. Then I pick up an orange. From there, I pick up 5 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will bring it down. I'm not connecting anything yet because now I have to pick up black, yellow, and then blue. Then I go and repeat the same thing, but I end with 1 red. So I go yellow, black, and then my 5 blue again. That's 5. And then again, because we're starting this off, I'm picking up my orange and then again 2 red. So your colors should look like this. 2 red, 1 orange, 5 blue, 1 black, 1 yellow, 1 blue, and then repeat it on the other side. What I neglected to do was make sure that my knot was underneath because this is where the star is. You fix that. Easy fix. Easy peasy. Pull. Okay. You got to make sure your thread is inside your hoop, coming inside like that after you've tied your knot. Once I've done that, I take my needle back through the hoop, bring my colors down, and I'm going to, as you can see, the thread is behind the hoop. Can you see that? The thread is behind the hoop. Lift it up a little so I can go through that top red bead, only the top red bead. If I can just do it. I'm used to doing it more close up to myself. Oh, that hurt. That was between a sneeze and a cough. I've gone through the top bead. Try not to get it going through thread or anything. And you're going to pull your thread through that one bead. Make sure your thread sits together. Okay, you're going to have a hoop, a little dangly like that. You know, you want it to loop like this. Can you see that? That's how you want it to lay like a smile. Excuse me, my gosh. I'm picking up 1 red, 1 orange, 5 blue, then I'm picking up black, yellow, blue, then you repeat backwards again. Three, 4, 5. This is where you will put 2 red. That's why I said starting it off is different. You start off with 2 red on each side. After you loop over your hoop and go through the top red, you only pick up one red. Just remember that, one red. And end with 2. I usually don't bead with a long needle either, but it's what I have to work with right now. I need to order more needles. And remember, only the top bead. Only the top bead. And before you even try to tighten it up, try not to have your smiley face, or whatever you want to call it, your curve there, stretched out too far. And if I happen to do that, I'll show you how to go about doing this. So right now, as you can see, I've got 3 points. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to continue going around. 1 bead, 1 red bead, 1 orange bead, and then of course my 5 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm picking up my black, my yellow, another blue, and repeat. Whoops. I had picked up 2 black. Look at that. Good thing I caught that. I'm kind of working away from my work right now, so it's a little different. How did that happen? I don't know why I picked up the black again. Okay, there we go. See, fixed it. Yay! Then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I usually work faster than this, but I'm trying to help y'all. Okay, now I'm picking up 2 red on this end. As you can see, my arthritis is not letting my hands work very well. You kind of want to keep it pulled tight a little bit here and there, but not too tight, because if you do that, you're not going to be able to do your stars. Okay, as you can see, I've got 1 too many beads. I found a way to be able to cut a bead out without damaging my thread. You get your crimper, go down to the second hole, and it breaks the bead just fine. As you can see, I broke 2 beads by accident. It's because my hands are a little wonky, guys, today. I'm sorry. But I promised that I would get this out, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to pull this apart, go back through at least the 2 red and the orange, and pick up my 5th bead. I don't see how I picked up 6 beads, but I did. Pick this up again. I guess you can say I forgot how to talk on camera. Feel like a noob all over again. Okay, you want it to relax so that way you're... There we go. I'll go back down through my top bead. holding it, making sure the smile looks even, Stevens, and pull it. See, I've got it pulled out too far. Notice there's no real loop. So all I do is loosen it a bit and bring my thread in towards the other. There we go. Got my loop. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm getting ready to work 1, 2, 3, 4 around this way. Buddy, would you please not do that to the camera cord? Picking up one red again. One orange, 5 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I pick up one black, one yellow, one blue again. Then repeat. Yellow, black, and 5 blues. My black is actually an 11-0 cut bead because I could not find my 11-0 black Miyuki. So Miyuki and cut beads actually, whoops, my little light came down. They actually work well together. We got all these people saying don't use this with this and this with this, you know, and to me, I feel that it's good to mix our beads. Good to mix the beads, make sure that they, you know, work well together. And, you know, I guess it's more for the more advanced beader to understand that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no such thing as not mixing your beads because you want to make sure that you have texture in your beadwork, beautiful colors. If you don't have it in that certain bead and you have it in another bead, it's okay. In my eyes, it's okay. I might be rambling on and I'm sorry. But I've heard many people say, don't mix your beads. It's okay to mix your beads as long as it works. You know, it'll be to you how you figure out for it to lay together and come out looking great. Okay, I got that out too far. Pull it in. Pull my thread tight. Now I've started on number 1 on this side. Excuse me, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, just like that, like I did this side. Again, you only pick up one bead, one red bead, you pick up an orange, and then you can do this with other colors. It's really nice when they're done with other colors. As you can see, this one was done with maroons, and the star still looks beautiful. I forgot to pull out my my white lusters, but they're laying right here. I'll lay them out here in a minute because we're going to be using that in the second round. Pick up a black, a yellow, and I always say make sure you do something like this because we're going to be going through that one blue bead right there for our second round. Pick up the yellow, and then you pick up another black. Repeat. orange, and then 2 red. I'm trying to do this slower so that way, my viewers will know what I'm doing, how I'm going about this. Like I said, I'm used to holding my work close to me when I'm beading. And it kind of happens that way as you get older. You hold your work closer to you. So I'm going to bring this around down a little further. Okay, now I'm going to show you this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got them spread out too far. I knew I was going to probably do it because I did it with this one. And we're going to fix that before I go any further. Going to loosen it all the way around, loosen it. That's why I said don't pull it too tight. I use a toothpick when I wrapped my beads like this. I'll take a toothpick and it'll help me move things over just a little. Down, go through, pull it over. You're going to use what's more comfortable for you when you have to do something like this, but I prefer a toothpick, so that way it'll help me, pick it up and pull it over. All right. Now that I've done that. And I used the toothpick to help me pull this all back over and make it So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be very careful not to twist your thread though when you're moving them over, because they'll twist. Your loop will twist and your beads will lay on top of each other. Okay, there. All right, now I've got room for 3 more. This is how it should look. Little loops going like that. Little ones. Again, I pick up 1 red bead. Fancy that, it's right there. Pick up my orange, 5 blue, 1 black, 1 yellow, pick up my blue, and repeat. Put my toothpick out of the way. Remember, at the end to red. We're going to do this all the way around until we come around to our 4th point. It's easier for me to go through my hoop like this. It really is much easier. And remember, always down through the top red bead only, and pull. This is where it gets tricky because you're coming around to all the extra hardware there on your hoop. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. This one here, I'm picking up 1. And then again, my red. And 5 again. My black. My yellow. Blue. Repeat what you've just picked up. Backwards, like this, see? You go with the yellow, then the black. Then you go with your 5 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up your orange. And then your 2 red. Now that we've done that, I come up as close as I can to this right here, because I'm going to have to connect my beautiful star again. Okay, keep it on the leather or on the suede, if you want to call it that. Okay, that's that. When I do this, it's going to pull my earring hook, you know, the lever down. That's what it did here. As you can see, it pulled it inward. And here, when you've done that 7th or the 8th point, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Okay, as you can see, I've already got double red right here and right here. This is where you're going to pick up 1 red, 1 orange, and then your 5 blue. You're going to pick up your black, or whatever color you've chosen. Now, this doesn't have to, my colors here does not have to be the colors that you would prefer to do your star with. And I'm just repeating. And then I'm picking up my orange, my 1 orange, and I'm picking up 1 red, only 1 red. It should look like this when you're getting ready to connect your star. 1 red on each side. Okay. What you're going to do here, you're going to go through that top bead, but you're going to go behind your hoop. Go through the top bead at the bottom of it and behind your hoop. And you're going to pull it. Sometimes just moving that up a little bit will help. Then you're going to come back down the top bead again. And down through your 5 and a black. And you're going to pull that. You can pull it tight. but not too tight. Remember, not too tight. As you can see, I can't remember, when I did this, I went up through the bottom of the top bead there, brought my needle back to the back side of my hoop, brought the thread over, came down, going through the first part of the star that I started all the way down. I was supposed to only go through the blue, but I came through the black. Now you're going to take your needle and go all the way through until you hit that middle blue there. Do you see what I've done? The middle blue. This is where I need to pour out my white lusters, because I've got white luster in this one. Not really going to need many of them. And this here is where I am going to pick up one white, 3 blue, 1, 2, 3 blue. Then I'm going to go red, black. That's what it should look like. 1 white, 3 blue, 1 red, 1 black. And then you're going to pick up, you're not ready to do anything yet, you're going to pick up your red and repeat what you did on this side. 3 blue. And then 1 white. With that, so my daughter and I didn't clean off my beading mat very well. You're going to pick this up and you're going to only go through the blue bead. Just the blue bead. And remember, I have mentioned this before in previous videos. When you pull your thread through, make sure you pull it in the direction that you're coming out of. You see a little loop there. Again, you'll pick up the white, pick up 3 blue. You'll pick up the red. You'll pick up your black. Because we're working on the second round again. You'll pick up your 3 blue. And your white. You'll go through your bottom blue bead that's in between the 2 yellow. Pick up white, 3 blue, 1 red, like I said, 1 black. Pick up your red again. You'll do this all the way around. Always remember the blue that's between the 2 yellow. Make sure you get your thread pulled all the way through. There we go. It's okay if it looks a little weird, because it's supposed to look weird right now. concerned, this is the other reason why I use a toothpick. So I can see how it's laying as well. Picking up my white, my blue. I need one white. Pick up my blue. Pick up my red. Pick up my black. This is a rather simple earring to make, you know. Everybody has their own way of wrapping their earrings, so they're hoops. I love wrapping a hoop. I really do. I think they look beautiful when they're wrapped. This will all come together once you start doing it and you get used to doing it. You'll learn how to work your beads the way you want them to, you know, lay. So remember, I was new at doing this at one time too. If I can inspire somebody to do this type of beadwork, I will. Inspire somebody to just pick up needle, thread, and, you know, do some amazing beadwork. I've done my job as, you know, being an influencer. Go through my blue bead, and only my blue bead. Like I said, it's okay if it's laying funny. It's all right. Pick up my white again. As you can see, I'm almost to the end. Again, pick up my white, my 3 blue, red, pick up a black, pick up a red again, pick up 3 blue, and another white. Now this here, I am going to go through the blue bead. Okay. After I do that, after I've gone through the blue bead, I'm going to go through the white, the 3 blue, and the black. because I know that, this is where you will work with how to draw your center part in to make this circle happen. I know that the cut bead is too small. So I went and I grabbed a bead that's a little bigger, which is my 10-0 check beads. So I'll pick up one of my 10-0s and I'm going to go through my black and I'm going to pull like that. Pick up another one of my black 10-0s, go through my black bead that's in the middle, pull. Then I'm going to do this again all the way around until I come back to where I started doing this. Yeah, my daughter just came in and had to pick up her package that was delivered to our P.O. box. It's kind of like the way a spider weaves her web. She finds that one spot where she's going to connect. All the way around, only through the black bottom bead. Your inner circle is what's going to form the star, because you're going to have to pull it tight. My goodness. Notch, do you really have to bark like that? I'm going to have to pull a bigger bead off. There we go. I'm going to go through this. Once you go through that bead you started with your black, you're going to pull and you're going to straighten these out right here. And by straightening them out, you can do it by just twisting them between your fingers. This will help them align. Now, once you've done that, pull, and you're going to hold your thread right there at the edge, and you're going to go through a few of these in the middle again. You're going to do this until you've pulled it, and it's going to hold itself. Pull. This is how I do it. It works well for me using my thumb. Holding. You may have to go through it several times, but that's okay if you do. Just pulling it. Like I said, it'll end up holding itself. It's always done it for me, so. And this is why I'm using the big needle, the long needle, the long beading needle. Y'all usually see me use the short needle. Pull it. See, it's made the star. As you're pulling it, it's making the star. I've been known to go through it 3 or 4 times before it actually holds itself. Okay, I might have to go down through the back side and pull it that way. See, as you see, it's starting to hold itself. I'll turn it over. This may work for you too if you just have to turn it over. Okay, I'm going to have to pull it into myself so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Ouch. I didn't go through that, did I? I sure did. Didn't want to go through any reds or blues yet. All right, this means I have to go one at a time. See, it's starting to hold itself. It really is starting to hold itself. Come on. Now, try not to get it hooked around any of the hardware there. There we go. It's holding itself now. This is where you can go through, kind of like straighten these out. Make them stand. Okay, now this is where you can go up. You want to go up through these, you know, any one of these, wherever you end up, you're going to want to go up through that. And then you're going to want to, you know, kind of like tie it off a few times. Come on, hands. You usually do better than this. Alrighty. Tie it off. I'm going between the blue and the white beads, so I'll just guide my thread there. Just stabilize it. And it's okay if you come back down. Try to get it through the white. Down through the blues. Out the red. And if you use a thin enough bead, you don't have to go back through the black. You can just come right over. And go up. Come on, I can't see. Leave it to me. All right, I think I got it. Now back up through the white. Then I tie it up again. You know, this is all however you want to end your... I usually do it like about 3 times. It's however you feel is going to be stable. Okay? That's what I tell anybody. However you feel is going to be stable, without coming undone or anything like that. It's however you want to tie it off. Come on. My light is usually brighter than what it is. I don't know what's going on. There we go. I had to turn my little white bead. Okay. And this is where I'm going to tie it off, so that way it'll be finished. And then instead of going back down, I'm going to go up. Of course, I'm going to take it through, how I showed you how to do that one part. But anyway, I'm going to go up and bring it through like halfway through the thing here. I'm going to pull it where it's only tight enough where that will go back down in there. And there you have it. You have your beautiful star. So I'm going to do just like that. A matching set of earrings. Matter of fact, it would lay this way because it's going to go into, your ears. And there it is. Beautifully done. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for watching this. Please like, subscribe, share. Of course, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share means, share it out to anybody that has been wanting to learn how to do one of these. Or you could just share it. It's nice. I would appreciate if you'd like my video. Not, that's okay too. Everybody has their preference. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for watching. See ya.